Before we get into today's episode, this one is brought to you by Flowdesk, the email marketing platform I use to run my own newsletter at Lion Creatives. If you've been putting off starting an email list or you're on a platform that just isn't working for you, Flowdesk is worth a look. The templates are beautiful, it's easy to use, and it's built for small business owners. Get 25% off your first year at flowdesk.com/c/Lion Creatives, but I'll make sure to drop the link in the show notes. All right, let's get into it. Sometimes people confuse branding with just the logo, right? The logo, the colors, the way it looks. But actually branding starts way before that. The idea and your mission and your strategy, how you want to be seen by your clients, that's where it all starts. Who is your target group? Who are your competitors? Who is on the market? And then from that strategy, you create a mission, you create a vision, you create where you want to go. Welcome to This Might Get Creative, a Behind the Brand podcast by Lion Creatives. I'm Svenja Lion, and in each episode, I sit down with local business owners and entrepreneurs to share their stories, how they got started, what keeps them going, and what makes their business stand out. My goal? To help more amazing businesses be seen, supported, and celebrated. So grab your coffee, because this might just get creative. Welcome back to This Might Get Creative, a Behind the Brand podcast on brand strategy and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Svenja Lion, founder and creative director of Lion Creatives, where we help businesses build brands that actually mean something, starting with strategy, not a logo. Today's guest is someone who is doing something I have not seen before in the leadership space. Susanne is the founder of Chemp.ai, a mobile app designed to help middle managers lead with empathy using AI. We're talking role-playing, difficult conversations, well-being check-ins, and message drafting that sounds human. Before she built this, Susanne spent 15 years in middle management across media, IT, and healthcare. She's not pitching a theory, she lived the problem. She's also an AI educator based in Malaga, Spain, and she runs workshops and training on leadership and generative AI. Susanne, welcome to the show, and I'm really glad you're here.
Thanks for the invite. Really happy to be here.
I'm really excited to have you on the show, and I really think that what you're building and what your business is about is really special, and I really have not heard about it before. So, but before we talk about the app. You call yourself an AI educator, not an AI expert. So tell me about that choice and why that is.
The choice, yes. I think, first of all, being an AI expert is very difficult to achieve because AI is such a wild field. Because when we talk about AI right now, we actually talk about a little tiny piece of AI. AI started already with machine learning in the 50s, the 60s. So calling myself an AI expert would not justify really what I do, because what I want to do with people, with my students, is we educate about the generative AI. So that little piece we have right now since November 22nd, ChatGPT was launched, to explain how the architecture behind these large language models is, how they really function, also what the risk is. The ethical use of these models, when to use, how to use, and especially also when not to use, and how to supervise these models from the human perspective.
Yes, I think that's very important, because there's so many. I don't know. I say that on the podcast a lot, that there's so many things that AI can do, and it's awesome on one hand, but then also difficult and scary on the other hand, with all the images. And right now, I feel like that we can still see if an image or a video or something was created by AI. We can still kind of see it. But I'm pretty sure that there will be a time when we cannot. And the same with social posts or in general writing pieces. Of course, I mean, since English is not my first language, I use it to spell check and things like that. But it is scary what it sometimes comes up with, and it's not the truth. what it comes up with. So yes, so I think it's very important to have people like you that specialize in educating people about the dangers and also the positive sides of AI.
Exactly.
So you so you have spent 15 years in middle management, and you said that what did you see that, or what did you learn that made you come up with the app that you created?
So middle management and this famous sandwich position, I think it's really a tough position. We have when we are in middle management, we need to go through when we want to go up to upper management. Also, there are people who like this position in the middle management. And I think it's a rough situation because you're really in between. You can choose if you want to be the cheese or the lettuce on the sandwich. Because so you have this pressure from above, obviously. Everything needs to fit. The numbers need to fit in. You have the pressure from your team because they trust you as the leader to also defend their position. And it's really tough to defend the position of the workers and also to fulfill all the numbers of the upper management, what they expect from you. So it's a lot of pressure. It's to be honest, it's a lot of pain. It's a lot of stress. You need to take decisions maybe you are not really convinced to take, but you need to take them. You need to give messages maybe you also don't like that much. So I think it's also this position where you need to align with yourself. Where am I? Where do I want to go? Where is my team? Can I do this? Can I not? You have difficult conversations with team members. So these are the pain points I saw a lot in these 15 years, especially these conversations, difficult conversations with employees, and you don't know where to attack, how really attack the situation. So we tend to avoid them, which also causes a lot of mental stress to the manager himself, because we just ignore something, we push it down. So this is then when I came up with the idea, why don't we use AI a little bit for training these situations, for role plays, to get prepared for these situations?
Yeah. So let's dive a little bit deeper into that. So what does the app essentially do? So when you saw this problem, and so they came up with this AI app, and what does it do? What's the core essence of the app?
Mm-hmm. So the app has in total 5 features. One is redacting messages, because what I also saw, we have so many channels all over the place. We have email, we have WhatsApp, we have Slack, Notion AI, whatever you name it, it's there. And every company is using different channels. So also we need, from the manager's perspective, we need to adapt to this, because obviously a WhatsApp message is different than an email. So this is one feature. It helps you to redact these messages, but also it gives you like an empathy score. So you have different thoughts on these. Then role plays obviously is like the key feature. We have already quite a few conversations in there, situations in there that you can trade with the AI, and then the AI gives you the feedback on your behavior on the situation. You have an empathy check, which I recommend especially before a conversation to do, and it gives you also a little score. How is your tension? How is your stress level? How's your energy level? And it gives you recommendations. So maybe go around the block before this difficult conversation. Micro learnings, which I think also most managers are really like so into this cold water. So now you're a worker, so now you're a middle manager. Because you did something good, boom, you're a middle manager. You have no idea how to lead people. You have no idea how people actually function, like from personalities and stuff. So we have these little micro learnings, like 5 minutes on different communication models, personality models and such, which I think is very useful to have this knowledge, and well-being tracker, because this comes then also together when you are in this position, you don't really take care of yourself. You eat quite crabby. On the road, you eat what you can grab because you are always running against time. Sometimes you're not even hungry and stuff. Physical activities, also sport. It also measures your water intake. Do you have do you drink enough water during the day? And all these comes then together in one app.
So, and you have to log all this information. So when you download, so let's start at the beginning. So I'm a middle manager, and I realized that I have an issue with communication because I do not like having these difficult conversations with my employees, with my coworkers, with my bosses. So I have this internal struggle with the conversation. So then I download your app, and then I'm assuming, and I don't know, you please tell me if I'm wrong, it connects to all the other apps on your phone and pulls, like, for example, Strava or the health app on Apple. Does it automatically pull, or do you have to physically go in and put the information in?
Yeah, you choose what you give on information. It doesn't connect with other apps yet. That maybe in the future we are thinking to connect it to health or something like that. But at the moment, you can really choose what information you are giving there, and it doesn't connect to anything else.
No, I think that's a positive feature, because sometimes you give access to apps and you don't really know what they are pulling, and why would they pull those things. Okay, so you create a profile, and then you add the information about who you are, and I'm assuming how much water you drank in the day. Yes. And when we spoke last week, you said that it also gives you notifications.
Like this, but these normal push notifications to remember you,
Yes.
to, for example, to do your daily check-in. But you don't have to do it. But just at 9 a.m., it gives you automatically like the push notification. Hey, did you do your daily check-in? But this is also something you can cancel on the settings on your phone. If you don't like push notifications, well, off they go.
Yeah.
So it's really, you can choose what you give. You don't have to tell the app how much water you drink or what you have eaten. You can, but you don't have to.
But of course, that would help with the information that then is being returned to you, the tips and the tricks and information.
Exactly. And also, I had already a few testers, and the feedback from them was the overall, which I actually didn't expect like this. They all said the most positive point of the app was that they really could connect with themselves again. So they really did the check-in, the well-being check-in. They put in, maybe I slept 7 hours or 9, or I don't know. But they felt like they did this on a regular base, on a daily base, and they felt more connected with themselves, which is also a key to when we are leading people. Because first of all, you need to know yourself, and you need to connect to yourself before you can lead other people.
No, that's true. And sometimes, and that's not just middle management, I think that's everyone, that we forget to really check in and to see how we are doing. And then maybe you just react, but once you track it, you know why you reacted a certain way, or why you had issues or maybe complicated conversations with others due to the fact that maybe you didn't go for a run. Let's just use that as an example. So yeah, no, I personally do like the notifications, because I do forget. Like, I would forget to log water or sleep, or I would probably forget. So, but I think that's for me, that's an important feature to have. And when it comes to difficult conversations and difficult topics that you have an issue talking about, how does it help you to solve that problem?
It prepares you to maybe also to see the perspective of your employee or of your team member. For example, I'm actually using it just to play around with it. The typical employee, maybe a little bit low performer, not always on time, not really fulfilling deadlines, but asking for a pay raise. So how do you really attack this topic? Because you as a manager think, why on earth would he ask that for something? No, can't he see that he's a low performer? No, he can't, because in his world he's not a low performer. So playing this around with the AI, it gave me also answers from my employee, which is the AI, which I thought like, oh wow, I never saw it from this perspective. And then also it gives me a little bit of preparation when I then go into this conversation. I a bit more prepared what can happen, what answers could be also even shouted at me. So you're much more calm when you go into the conversation because you're already well prepared. It's actually like also the sales agents, they always I heard it from sales trainers when they go into a meeting and they really want to sell something. For them, it's really like a boxing fight. They're going into the rings. This is actually a little bit the same when you have these conversations with your employees, because then you also have employees maybe you don't click that much like with others, but you still need to give the same conversation on the same quality, of course. So if you prepare yourself also emotionally doing this role plays with the AI, obviously this conversation will have less tension and it will be less painful and less stressful.
I agree, but especially the less stressful part, because I think I would be someone who would struggle with those difficult situations. And so that role play, does it have different characters? Can you put in, for example, oh, the other person is very quiet, or the other person, the employee is very dramatic or reacts easily? Can you put those factors into the...
Yes. So manually you can adapt to whom you're talking to. Is it like upper management, or if it's a team colleague, if it's an employee, and you can give a little bit of a note, drama or calm, or you could even give like personalities, because then also like for example, if you're talking to like a red person, they are on fire, you need to practice this as well if you are maybe more a calm green person from your personality.
So because you said red and green, that is something that you would then add to your profile on the app? What kind of personality?
This is something in the roadmap. I would like to do more. I mean, at the moment we are still talking about the MVP, but I think we need to adapt ourselves in these conversations, not to our personality, but to the personality of the person we have in front.
Yeah.
And if we have this information, which we can also get from micro-learning in the app about personality, we can adapt then also that the person in front of us will not feel attacked by our words, which is super important when you're leading people. So yes, this is in the roadmap as well to adapt these little fine-tunings as well. And
when you do this role play and you talk you talk to the app, does it give you after your conversation, does it give you a feedback on how you did and what you can improve?
Yes. Yes. It really checks your answers a little bit. It gives you also like an empathetic score on how is your level in the answers, and it gives you drafts where to improve.
Okay. And then I'm assuming, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that then also connects to the microlearning sessions? Does that, for example, does it suggest specific microlearning sessions that you can then take in order to improve what you were lacking in this conversation?
Not yet, but good input.
Okay. So what are the topics of the microlearning sessions?
Microlearnings, we are really going into different communication models, the different conversation models, what is communication in general, and personalities, because there are also so many models about personalities, then different models of leadership as well, a little bit the overall together the base which I think a leader should know about.
That's very cool. What does the MVP stage mean? Because you said that
MVP, minimal viable products. So yeah, actually, the MVP is like something you develop to see if there's a market, or I don't know. Our MVP turns out it is already an F, but we say it's still on the MVP status because at this point we're still waiting for the green flag of Apple to be in the App Store.
Okay.
We are waiting from Google Play. We need beta testers to test the app on a daily basis, so we can then be published in the Google Play Store. So it's not like up and running yet in the app stores.
But I think since you still need testers for Google, I mean, there's unfortunately I don't have an Android. However, I'm pretty sure that lots of listeners do have one. And how can they become a tester?
Get in contact with me, please. Clients, get in contact with me. Send me an email. Connect with me on LinkedIn. However, yes, so we are really looking for Android people who are willing to use the app for 2 weeks on a daily basis. And also give us feedback to the app. And there might be some special offer for them at the end of the testing phase.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So as a tester, what do you do?
In the tester, you play around with the app. You can go and check the message redacting. Like I'm really, for example, I'm testing some weird stuff. Like going into the message redacting and tell the AI I need to redact an email to an employee who only drinks beer at the workplace. How do I do this? Stuff like this, to see also the prompts we put for the AI if they are working. So really go crazy and go into the role plays. In the role play, also I told one employee that he please take a shower because he stinks, just to see the reaction of what's happening. So go wild and play around with this app to see if it's something for you.
So now I'm interested. What did the AI say to the shower?
Oh, super diplomatic. It was really super diplomatic. And it said, yeah, I don't know. maybe there's something going on in your private, but I don't want to dig in too much. So step by step by step, we got there. So yeah.
And we will be right back. If you're a business owner and you've ever wondered why your brand isn't pulling its weight, I built something for you. It's called the Brand Audit Scorecard, and it's completely free. 10 questions, takes about 5 minutes, and it'll show you exactly where your brand is strong and where it's losing you clients. You can grab it at lioncreatives.com/brand audit scorecard, and the link is in the show notes. All right, let's get back to it. That's awesome. Yeah, sometimes the answers, even ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're using, the answers are, I mean, sometimes they're funny. Sometimes I get into this conversation with Claude and I tell Claude, well, I told you this like 5 million times. And then it apologizes and is all like nice to me. It's funny sometimes.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So positive leadership, that's an important topic. Can you talk a little bit more in detail about positive leadership? Because I think there's lots of different definitions of positive leadership and how to communicate with employees and people.
Actually, also this kind of leadership comes from ourselves, from within, with our attitude, with the positive attitude of the leader. For example, I had one workshop I was giving this year to a big group of middle managers, and the first thing I did was gave them a test on like how much percent do you think electricity is spread around the world? What is the percentage of young girls having access to education? And automatically, everybody always thought on the worst answer. But actually, it's always in this test, it was always the best answer. And they were really stoked, like, wow, I didn't believe that. And I said, yeah, because we are always seeing the negative part first and not thinking of the positive part. And we need to really switch this around because there's so many positive things happening in the world. And when getting up in the morning, you need to switch this chip around and not seeing, oh, it's raining today. See from the positive side. Like over here at the moment in Malaga, it's really raining cats and dogs. It's incredible. But I know we will have an awesome spring then. Everybody always was complaining about we have a lack of water. Well, now we have enough for years. So this positivity needs to come from us. And then the next nice fact is that this positivity is actually contagious. So when you enter a room and your attitude is the right one, automatically it will spread, as well as our negativity spreads, as well as our positivity spreads. So this is for me the positive leadership, that please leaders spread this positivity around. The big example, Simon Sinek, when he's on stage and talking about positivity, this is really what it is. Doesn't mean that we need to really praise our employees all the time, because that's also not very needed and helpful to praise everybody. But try to switch around and see the positivity in things. For example, on Instagram, I'm following quite a few profiles I like the positive news. Nobody is watching positive news. And there are so many we are not even aware of, because we tend to go to the negative one.
I think I follow some of the positive. I think it's one channel. I don't know the name, the username, but it's about positive or good things that happened today or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that it's, or good news nobody talks about or something like that. And I agree. You even see it in your own family when you wake up grumpy. And everybody else is happy, but you come downstairs into the kitchen and you're not happy. It spreads to everybody else. And all of a sudden, within like a couple minutes, everybody is in a bad mood.
Mhm.
And I can see that when your boss is coming to the office already in a bad mood, everybody is kind of walking on eggshells, and then it just trickles down.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, but then could employees, so the app you designed is specifically for middle management, but would it also benefit the employees themselves?
Of course, because also between employees we have difficult situations or conversations. Because at the end of the day, we are all related to each other. And we work it's a relationship.
Yeah.
So, and in every relationship, there is friction every now and then. So, of course, and especially also the check-ins, the daily check-ins, to connect with ourselves, helpful for everybody.
Yeah. So if someone has an Android and is not middle management, they can still be a tester.
Yes, please.
Okay. Very nice. We're definitely going to put that that information into the show notes. Hopefully, we can get you some some testers. So let's talk about branding for a little bit, because that's kind of my world.
Mhm.
So what's the hardest part about marketing and bringing the app to the world? What's the hardest challenge that you're facing?
Actually, really, as you said, the branding itself. Um, I actually did it with AI. Can I tell you that?
My favorite topic. Okay.
I'm sorry. I was a bit on the one. Uh, but yeah. So actually, yeah, really, the branding itself. I think for someone who is not from this topic, this is really tough to decide the colors. I knew the name Chemp because Chemp stands for Chief Empathy. Chief
Oh.
is the leader and empathy. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I knew this, but then the rest was really a little bit playing in the casino. Yeah, let's go for this. Uh, yeah. So branding is. I'm really happy that they are experts. I hope I can one day when there's then the first customers and we can just throw the money like there you go. So branding, I think definitely this is something I don't think AI will replace because it's very needed, this human input.
Mhm.
Always. Always. And social media, for example, is also, to be honest, I think a little bit of a pain because it's very time consuming. And at the moment, I have an intern doing this, but it's super slow. It's very,
Yes.
very slow.
So the most important, and I had a couple of people on the podcast before, the branding, sometimes people confuse branding with just the logo, right? The logo, the colors, the way it looks. But actually, branding starts way before that. The idea and your mission and your strategy, how you want to be seen by your clients, that's where it all starts. Who is your target group? Who are your competitors? Who is on the market? And then from that strategy, you create a mission, you create a vision, you create where you want to go. So it's kind of like a roadmap. And from that, the logo and the mark for the actual product can be developed based on everything, on the whole strategy that you have. So if you start designing a logo before everything else is already set, you will have to rebrand in a very short time. because then from all this, the colors become clear because they are based on the strategy that you're following. And if there's, if you have a little bit color theory, all that comes with it, and then the fonts and everything that you're using, the type, it all comes together then in the end. And I think if you have the budget to invest in branding and in the whole strategy right from the beginning, you will save money in the end because there's less the chance of having to rebrand in a very short time frame. Of course, when we just start out, most of the time we do not have the budget for a complete branding. And I totally understand when people use AI because not everybody is a designer that can then take all this from the strategy and make it into a nice branding. So the beginning is always hard, but I recommend that as soon as you have some means to invest in your branding, in your overall look, you will save some money and time and effort at the end. Yes. And also, I'm assuming that you already created the app, the icon for the app, right?
No. Well, the icon, example, is this.
What you can find that on the App Store.
Exactly, yes. But this is actually from the logo. But and in my defense, I had a designer, a freelancer, who did also for the developers all the Figma designs. Because even though I work with AI, I do not trust AI to develop an app. So I have 2 full stack developers, lovely students, who are developing the app, and therefore the designer was needed to do the really the dashboards and everything, exactly the app design.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. I need to. Do you still need Apple testers? Because I really want to test. I want to see the interface. That's what I'm interested in.
I will ship it to you anyways.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm testing it for you if you would like.
Yeah, of course.
When did you start? When did you bring it to the market? Well, not to the market, but when did the whole project start?
Yeah. So it really started out of the garage. No. Job. Sort of. But I think it is this typical startup idea. So last year, beginning of the spring of last year, I got laid off. And then I thought like, oh my God, what am I doing now? No, I don't want to go into another employee relation again. I want to do my own stuff. And then my partner said like, yeah, but come on, there are so many in Spain, we live in Spain. There are so many also financial helps from the government. You just need a project. And I thought, cool, what can I do for a project? Well, I mean, at this time I was already working as a leadership coach, and I thought leadership is really something I want to bring to the people, also on an educational way. Why not do an app? This is how it started, to be honest. And this is then we had the kickoff meeting in August last year. Where I had the 2 developers on board, and we defined a little bit the roadmap.
That's pretty cool, because that's the idea, and to really create it, an actual product.
Super fast.
Yeah, that's very cool. Interesting. Where do you see it goes in? It's going to be in 12 months.
Well, in 12 months, hopefully, really. So it is on a subscribe base in the App Store and Google Play, and already a few companies will use it for their managers. And because there's then also is company gets like the enterprise pack or something, they will also get really not one-to-one, but in-house coaching as well. I think this is also something very important. The app, of course, can do a lot for you, but I want to give the users as well in-house coaching at least 1 year to be there in person and talk through leadership. It doesn't need to be a huge workshop or something, but really also to get to know them, to get to know the environment, and to see how we can help with the app and as a leadership coach together in the company.
Is that only for your location for Spain, or would you also do these coaching sessions over Zoom, for example?
Over Zoom, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the coaching sessions over Zoom, but because also this interaction, human to human, is very important. And I'm always traveling, at least within Europe, without any problem. There's no. I've never been to the US.
No.
So that
New
could be
Jersey is a nice
something.
place to be.
That would be something.
We're very close to New York City. Nice place to go. Interesting. Yes. If you have one advice for middle managers about empathetic leadership, what would that be?
I would say don't be too hard on yourself. Because what I also can see is that especially middle managers, they're expecting so much from themselves, and they always want to do high performer 24 hours a day until really there's depression and burnout. So please don't be too rough and too hard on yourself. Take care of yourself, because if you are not in a good position, your team is not in a good position. So it sounds egoistic to say like put yourself in the first spot, but actually it's an advantage then for the entire team.
Yeah, burnout is a real thing, and it happens. It's silent. It just happens, and if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't find an outlet, could be art, could be exercise, whatever it is, I think you are. Yeah, it's difficult. Anyways, this was a very nice conversation, and with your experience, I think you've created something that is very beneficial for anyone, for employees, for managers, for top managers too. And I think it's very beneficial. And I think a lot of people would benefit from this app, and also from your coaching if you like to travel. And if the listeners would like to find you on social media, where can they do that?
With my name on LinkedIn, quite easy. And Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Susanne.ia. That's the profile.
And is Chemp.ai, do you have an Instagram profile for that as well, or no?
It has an Instagram profile, but actually I'm trying to put a bit more of personal stuff than in there, because it's very, it looks very corporate. So to be honest, I'm not that super duper content at the moment. But obviously there's Instagram for Chemp.ai. There even I still say Twitter. I know it's not Twitter, but you can find it on Twitter. You can find it on Facebook. We have a LinkedIn page, of course. Everything Chemp.ai, or even Chemp.ai. which is the homepage.
And if testers, they, again, we talked about this briefly, but if testers would like to get in contact with you, they have to send you an email, or can they contact you through social media as well?
Fastest way, LinkedIn. Fastest way
Okay.
you can contact with me, DM on LinkedIn.
Okay, perfect. And if today's episode has you thinking about how to show up as a leader, Susanne actually has something for you. And we talked about this, and you tell me if I can tell the little extra that they get if you test it. Yeah?
Go for it.
She's looking for beta testers for the Chemp.ai app right now. And here's how it works. You use the app at least once a day for 14 days. And in exchange, you get a free 6 months subscription. And that's around 150 euros or about $65 plus 20% off when you renew after that. And if you're a middle manager who wants early access and a real say in how this product develops, that's a pretty great deal. You can find the link in my show notes. But before I let everybody go, here's a quick word from Flowdesk. Flowdesk is this episode was brought to you by Flowdesk. It's the email marketing platform of my choice, and I've been using it for a while now. It's my favorite email platform, and it makes it fun and beautiful. So I'm also going to put that link into the show notes, because if you use the link, you get 25% off your first year. And thank you so much, Susanne. That was a very insightful and very nice conversation. I'm Svenja Lein. I'm your host from This Might Get Creative. If this episode was useful, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a review or like it on the App Store. Thank you so much, Susanne. Thanks for listening to This Might Get Creative, a Behind the Brand podcast by Lying Creatives. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show and share it with someone who loves discovering local businesses and creative entrepreneurs. You can learn more about my work at lyingcreatives.com or find me on Instagram, line.creatives, and LinkedIn at Lying Creatives. Until next time, keep showing up, keep creating, and keep getting seen.